Alright, so this is kind of my process with plein air painting. I want to put kind of everything in its place before I even start drawing. So a lot of times I will just get a lot of thinner and just a little bit of color and just kind of decide where I want most of the stuff. So I'll look at it in block shapes rather than in items to paint. And that way I can get just an idea of where everything's going to fit, and it will make sense to me as I'm painting it. And it probably won't make much sense to you until you see the finished product. It's also just a really simple way to tint the canvas and kind of get an idea of where everything goes at the same time. I take a little toilet paper and I just get off the really juicy parts while still trying to keep my areas intact. And then after that, I'm ready to start painting. So after my basic wash, I just start sketching in. I'm using a transparent red oxide, which is what I use for brown when I paint, to sketch in just some rough shapes of the buildings and the trees. So here I'm putting in my basic values and colors, just kind of blocking them in quickly. Now I'll just collect all of the minor details that I need to finish this from the painting rather than from a photo. Alright, since it is probably about 90 degrees out here and my camera keeps shutting off because it tells me it's way too hot, I'll probably end this painting right here outside and finish it off in the studio so I don't get heat stroke. But you can see that I've put in my block in, my basic shapes, values, and colors. And I think that from this point I have enough by memory that I can take it into the studio and finish it without even having to take a picture. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, so we're back here at my home studio. Brought the painting in. Under this light I can see maybe some value changes that I need to make, some color changes that I want to alter. And so it's good to bring them into your studio, even if it's just for some light touch-ups. But since it was 98 degrees out there and I was dying and my camera was angry at me, I brought it into the studio just so we could finish it up. So this is the basic block in, and so now I want to take it the rest of the way. At this point in the painting, when I'm beginning to do my finishing work, not only do I like to work on the values and the colors to make the color more interesting and the values more correct, but I also like to add texture. I feel like it adds a really nice element to my work. Here you've seen me utilizing both the brush and the knife to get this texture. Most of my paintings, in fact all of my paintings, are a combination of both knife work and brush work. With the work on the structures and the bales of hay done, I turn my attention to the trees. I'm using a principle of landscape painting with these trees. As they get farther away, I am lightening their accents or their darker colors to help them feel as though there's atmosphere between the objects. This helps to create depth of field in your paintings. And that the reason why that works is because of the moisture in the atmosphere reflecting the light. As things get farther away, less of their harsh dark lights are visible to the eye. I find using the knife is such a fun tool when you're painting trees or bushes or other shrubbery because not only does it put the paint on really thick and really juicy, but it also gets a marbling effect with the color and it creates this natural variation that is really appealing. For more on how I use my knife, go check out my video on how to paint with a palette knife. You'll notice that when I'm working with that palette knife here in the foreground, my stroke has changed to a horizontal stroke, and that helps give the eye the illusion of a flatter ground. Alright, so there you have it, from plein air to studio, and it's a finished piece. I hope you enjoyed watching me paint this, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my plein air setup, and stay tuned for more paintings.